This is just another exposing video of what I seen and investigated while I was in jail. One of the public defenders is more corrupt than the others. I talked to the other inmates, and he was even a stand-in public defender for one of my hearings. And it was almost like I was talking to the prosecution team against me. Like one of the prosecutors. I'm like, how did one of the prosecutors infiltrate the public defenders? You know what I mean? But he used to be a prosecutor, you know what I'm saying? So he's like really on their side. And that's what the inmates told me. And with my investigation, they showed me he's pretty corrupt. You know, but the good old boys is in every aspect. You know, even the public defender area. My public defender's good. Nothing against. He's solid. He's the best one there. This one isn't my. Sean Wynn is not my public defender. He was for a day. And I'm like, oh man, he's going to execute me. He's going to help execute me. He might join the prosecution team when on my jury day, just to get me back on this video. But, oh well. Oh well. But yeah, he would have the inmate, like the defendant, waive their preliminary. So the prosecution could execute them to prison, a long prison sentence. He was setting them up for slaughter, and the inmates were telling me, all of them were telling me, that, some of them had to get a different lawyer than Sean Wynn. They had to fire Sean Wynn. That's how much he was against them. You know what I mean? They had to fire him and get another lawyer because he was so against them. Multiple. And they're like, man, yeah. But, so, the sooner he's out of the public defenders, the better. That's what this video's goal is to be. I'm just like, I've run into him a few times. in my trial against the police. I didn't know who he was, but I ran into him a few times. I'm like, this guy's kind of shady. But he was never my actual public lawyer. He was never. I just seen him, and he was a stand-in for a second. I'm like, good thing he's not mine. I'd be executed by jury already. You know what I mean? The judge would be like, will the prosecution please stand? And he would stand. You know what I mean? As a public defender, as a prosecution against me, he would testify with the prosecution team against me if he was my public defender. That's how bad he is. But anyways. But yeah. Everybody in that jail was like, don't get Sean Wynn. Do not. And if you do have him, do not trust him. And rightfully said. Rightfully said. I was just like, I didn't even trust him to do what I told him to do. I'm serious. All I told him was very short and quick. When he was my public defender for a day, while my real public defender was on vacation. He was my public defender. All I told him was something. I'm just like, take it to trial. And like, that's it. No more. Even if you want to talk a little more, like, just take it to trial. See you later. That's how quick it was. That's how much the inmates told me about him. I'm like, just take it to trial. But I didn't even trust he would say, take it to trial to the prosecution. That's how much I didn't trust him. Like, he probably didn't even say that. He probably signed my execution order. He's probably like, he said to execute him. Yeah. That's what I thought he said. I thought I was going to the electric chair after talking to him. That's so eerie. I'm like, I don't trust this guy. But anyways, I feel bad for the inmates that had him and still have him. Yeah. They're up against two prosecutors. Their public defender and the prosecutor. They're up against two prosecutors against them. to send them to prison. They're screwed, you know what I mean? Hopefully this video gets them removed somehow. I already know the power of these videos. You know, they try to shut me up. So maybe this will be one of the powerful ones, I don't know. They try to lock me up in 3 different facilities in a row. They got some power, these videos, somehow. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this works for my brothers in the jail. Some of them are innocent. Some of them are. It's not a joke. So that's why it's serious. I'm like, I can't just leave my brothers hanging. You know what I'm saying? I can do some exposing while I'm free for a minute. I wasn't supposed to be free. I wasn't. Their plan was to not make me free at all. But the people voted so strongly in the November election, it forced their hand to free me. I'm not kidding. It's not a joke. The power of the people in the vote released me. I don't underestimate you guys, the power of the people. We the people. We still stand, even if the good old boys think we don't. And that's all I'll say for this video.